up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here as my camera is going in and out. And the lighting right now is not so good. So this is what we're going to have to deal with today, guys. I don't know why it does this to me. But we're here anyway to talk about the first half of the MLB season. The White Sox, they're not doing the greatest of all time. But you know what? They're doing better than they did last year. They have a better record. They're playing better fundamental baseball. And they're just more exciting to watch this year. So Tino and Deech are here to talk about it all and then get you ready for the second half and talk about what could be and what this team could look like after the All-Star break as I go in and out. It's so funny. But anyway, guys, let's get Deech in here. Let's see how he's doing. What's up, Deech? How you doing?
Doing well. Looking forward to baseball. Pick it back up tomorrow. So definitely have the Sox game penciled in there. And they're off to Pittsburgh. So that should be a series where they can potentially, I would think, win at least 2 out of the 3, depending on how they come back after the All-Star break.
No, you would hope so. I mean, how do you feel? Has it been weird not to have baseball on since last Sunday? And do you like not having it, or do you wish it was like bad? Like I know it's only been like a week, but I don't know. For me, sometimes it's like gives me that thing to watch every day. And do you think it was like a good time for the team to actually have it because I mean, it's not like they're playing like awful, but they're also not playing like you know the
It's
greatest.
probably good for the players. I mean, I feel like some of them probably do like a quick vacation or go back home or stuff like that. So I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
for the ones not involved with the All-Star game, that's still cool, even though it's still baseball oriented. But um,
Did
got
you
to
watch
freshen
any
up
of?
for the rest of the season. I mean, some of these younger guys are probably going to start playing more innings than they probably ever have in the season. So
Yeah, especially the pitchers, and as they said it a lot during the '05 reunion weekend, how many like innings pitched a lot of these guys have, like Shane, etc. That it should be interesting to see how well they do as the season goes on and as we get into the late seasons of what do they call it, the dog days of summer. So it should be
yes.
interesting. Did you watch the home run derby or the All Star game, and how did you feel about the one out that Mr. Shane Smith got? I thought they
Um,
had to face
I
3 batters. I
I
didn't
was
know they.
glad that they got him in, honestly. It started to be somewhat in question as the innings went along through that game, just based off of who was left on the bench. But I mean, it was a cool opportunity for him, cool opportunity for his family, and really a historical appearance. There's only been one other Rule 5 um,
To make, yeah. Yeah, I
pick
think they
who's
said it
made
was like the
the.
ninth. Wasn't it like the 19 like 30s or 40s or something like that? I think they said because I think they showed the stat when he was out there. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. Like for me, like I love the stuff. Like thankfully, I will say the one thing about the All Star game this year is thank God they went back to the normal uniforms and they wore those ugly ass uniforms for the home run derby. That's how it always should be. It just made I don't know why it just made it more like I don't know digestible and watchable for me because for a couple of years I just couldn't watch it. Those uniforms just drove me insane. So I mean, it's just one of those things. But I always love the stuff like I said, like the home run derby, all the activities. Like I sat here and watched the red carpet, and I don't know, I like all of that stuff because it's cool to watch all these guys get together and play and like, or so unless you're the Tigers. And did you see the Tigers stats that all their hitters did not get a hit, and their 2 pitchers that they had gave up 2+ runs?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of finish out the season in general. I mean, they have a pretty big lead now, but
I
they
mean,
still have to play some consistent baseball. They can't hand it back to one of the teams below them.
yeah. I mean, again, we saw it happen in '05, and we talked about it a lot last year. But I mean, the Indians at the time, I can say Indians because they were Indians, but they were the Cleveland Indians at the time. They got, I think it was like 3.5 games. The Sox just started losing in August, September, and the Guardians, Cleveland, just kept winning, and they came really close. It's never over until they have the Clint. I don't know. I just always you never know, especially in baseball, man. How many times have we seen the Cardinals in the second half come out and somehow make the wild card or make the division? Every single year it seems with these goddamn Cardinals. So I just you never know. But yeah. So the All-Star break is over, and as you said, we go on to face Pittsburgh and everything. But overall, what is your like first half thoughts about the team general? I mean, obviously they're not like tremendously better record wise, but I feel like on the field in the games, it's been a way better first half and digestible first half that we've enjoyed watching games than I feel like we have in the last like 2 3 years.
Yes, I mean they play clean baseball this year, which uh, you had players pulling in all different directions. It seems the last few years, especially under Pedro. So at least Will's got them all on the same page. The games are a lot more enjoyable to watch. They do not make as many defensive errors or misplays. The pitching's been really fun to watch. We'll see how it kind of plays out in the second half. Like you mentioned, a lot of them are reaching um, like the total amount of innings they've ever pitched in a season. So I would assume with Shane Smith, they'll probably do what they did with Crochet last year, where he's still going to continue to start, but they may either give him a pitch limit or an innings limit that he's going to go when he goes out there, and maybe even some of these other guys too. I'm not sure how many innings Sean Burke has pitched. I mean, I know he was hurt before, so
Well, I mean, and that's the thing too, and a lot of these guys too that are in the bullpen too are rookies. Where it's like that's the only thing that like I worry about with like if they did do that with Shane, where it's like a lot of these guys are rookies in the bullpen, and then we're gonna have to go to the bullpen in the third or fourth inning, and then yeah, so it's just one of those things that I'm just worried about that situation with that. But I mean, the pitching has been the one thing to keep us in games because we've had a lot of games that we can't score runs, and we've had a lot of 1 run, 2 run games that I feel like as of late they've been able to like finally be able to like finish them off. Like we won a couple. I think we won one versus the Rockies. We won. Was it? Did we win one versus the Blue Jays 1 run game? But I mean, it seems like they're starting to figure it out. Where Grant Taylor helps. If Jordan Leisure could keep the ball in play, that would be fantastic. But there's a couple guys in that bullpen that I finally feel like I can fully trust. That, like I said, for a long time we were throwing out Joe Schmo or frickin' the what was his name, Jimmy Cordero. Oh god, that guy gives me anxiety. So, I
I
mean,
think offensively, until they add power, it's going to be this. I mean, I would describe it as being inconsistently fluid, where there are games where it's not like they're not getting on base, they're not having good at bats, but they just don't have enough power in that lineup, obviously, to compete with some of these other teams, especially when you have Robert, who
can't swing at a
is
ball if
just
his legs
not
are heavy
playing
on it.
good baseball whatsoever.
It could be like
Um,
the bench warmers, and he'd still miss it.
yeah.
I mean, it's just like, and that's the thing too. Like with the hitting and Robert and everything, it's like this trade deadline, we are going to get absolutely nothing for this guy the way it's going because he is just completely plummeted his trade value in every single which way that he just doesn't like.
I mean, there's a world where they have to just keep Robert
I mean, at this point, I mean, what's at this point, what's the
and then
point of
see
getting
how he does in the
rid of?
second half.
I mean, because couldn't they do a trade like freaking they did with Crochet, where they waited until the off season and then trade him to somebody or whatever? I mean, that's
The only issue is if you go into the offseason, I believe he'd have to, I think he has like a $20 million option that the Sox would have to pick up before trading him. So
gotcha.
that's where it's risky. But if you're not getting any sort of offers,
I,
minimally what you can do is at least keep him until the end of the season, see if for some reason in the second half he turns it on, and then weigh out your options. Whether you're going to decline his team option or pick up his contract and think you have suitors to flip him. Uh, and the trade deadline is going to be over or underwhelming to a lot of fans, in my opinion. We don't have any more Garrett Crochet type trade chips. So,
yeah, no, we're not gonna get any of those guys that everybody's gonna want us to get. I mean, it's gonna be more of
we
the
don't
eight.
have any more
Oh,
Garrett Crochet type.
the the Adrian Hausers of the world and the Mike Talkmans of the world aren't going to give us freaking these number 1, 2 overall prospects that everybody expects us to get. And as much as it would be nice to do, it's just not going to happen. And I mean, in some cases, I would not mind keeping Mike Talkman. I don't know. I just like the way he plays and the way he just everything. So, and I can't even believe I'm saying that because I did not like him when he was on the Cubs and everything outside. Here we are. But I mean, it just that's the thing where it just like
Well, and in my opinion, with what's it called? With Hauser, I'm leaning towards it's going to wind up being a similar trade that they had for Fedde, where you're going to have to bundle multiple players, and you may get a guy who's somewhat major league ready, and then a possible throw in after that.
yeah, exactly. And then it's gonna be just like how they did with the Miguel Vargas trade, where they're all gonna freak out, they're all gonna have panic attacks, and then they're all just gonna this and that because you know. And again, it is what it is. I mean, again, when they did the trade for Crochet, they even said that that was like the last big piece, other than Robert, but that was only dependent on if Robert could hit the ball and everything else. And the best thing he's done this year is play defense. And again, that's great. You can play defense and everything, but he's supposed to be in there in a lot, So yeah, should be really interesting to see. The trade deadline, don't forget though, is just in case people forget, it is the 1st of August now, not July 31st. They changed it, so and that's the thing with the trade deadline. It is always underwhelming because I always love the trade deadline and I love sitting here watching these guys talk. I don't know why, but nothing ever happens. Like there's no these big trades until like 2, 3 o'clock, and then they all just start coming in because they like finalize it because they got to send it to the MLB office and everything. So it's just one of those things that I don't know. It should be interesting. Like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see what the team looks like after the trade deadline is over because now they also got rid of that waiver thing that they used to have too. I always like to remind people because they always seem to forget. So, yeah. But what with the first half and everything, obviously the White Sox have, like I said, record wise, they are not much better. But what I will say is I was looking it up today. And we talked about it last week, how they didn't get their 32nd win until I think like September or whatever. So they were 27 and something at this time. And now they're obviously, again, only like 5, 6 games better, 32-65. But I mean, I think the biggest thing, like I said earlier, like it's just been more enjoyable to watch these games that I'm definitely getting frustrated, but not as much as I was last year, where it's like now they go and if they get down 1 to 2 runs, the first, second inning, they're right back in it. Or what was it last week? They were down 4 runs and they came back and tied it. And it's just like, at least like we don't have to, I feel like we don't have to turn off the games and they're giving us some type of hope and everything else like that. And it's sad that I'm talking like this, like they're freaking 30 games over 500, but they're 30 games under 500. But and also the Rockies are 22-74, so they're actually still 5 games worse than what the Sox were at this time. So they have to try to win some more games if they're gonna catch up to that. But I mean, what has been your favorite moment of the first half?
That one's kind of tough. Do you have like yours in mind already?
I mean, I don't even think I have I forgot what game it was, but I think it was the one where I think we were down and Benintendi hit a home run. And I just remember it might have even been recently. I can't remember, bro. These games go so was it a walk-off? Did Benintendi have a walk-off this year? I don't know. It was one of the walk-offs that they came back, they were losing, they tied it, and then they won it. And we haven't had many games like that in a long time. I feel like where they actually come back and win the game. I think you might have even actually been at the game. I forget what game it was.
I might have been.
But yeah, that's mine because I just like I said I don't know if you remember. You remember that one game like a while ago? They were down like 7-0 against the Tigers, and they somehow like ran and they came all the way back. I think that was the one Anderson actually hit the walk off home run. But like for me, like
Yeah,
those big,
I shamefully left that game early
that's right. I know.
because I was like, there's no way they're gonna come back. It was like 9-0.
Yeah, it was like
And they can,
seven.
and
It was
yeah,
yeah.
I was already home and watched Anderson hit the walk off and was just like, damn,
Well,
pretty
yeah. So I'm gonna
rough.
I'm gonna figure out what game that was. But yeah, that was my favorite one because, like I said, it's been very difficult to watch these guys come out and play the last few years, and that's also been my other favorite moments too. The first half is watching Chase hit his first home run, Edgar hitting his first home run, Colston having that game in Colorado on the 4th of July. It's like seeing these guys come up and play baseball and obviously they've kind of struggled in their own which way, especially Chase as of late. But I mean, it's gonna happen, and it just they're giving the White Sox a reason to have fun again. And with all this 2005 reminiscing that they've been doing lately, it makes me sad how bad and how lousy they've been for years because how great that 2005 team was and how good that they did in every aspect of the game is just like that's how you win baseball games. And yeah. So that's mine. Did you figure out yours yet?
I mean, the home opener was cool just because, I mean, they kind of pounded them right off the bat.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Other than that, I mean, that's the thing. I think this season's just so much more enjoyable to watch that I don't necessarily have like any specific, like the last few years, you could pick out moments because it was like one out of every 40 games, there would be like something positive that happened. Um,
Said Posey. I mean,
I
you
mean,
gotta
just
love it.
overall, I think the best way to even summarize like some of what you were saying is the last year was pretty much the remaining of the last core that was still there. So even at the trade deadline, I mean, you were like, all these guys could go because at that point it was Moncada, Eloy, um, Crochet. You could have had. I mean, this year it's really other than rental players. There's really not many guys that I see being traded. Um,
Yeah.
from the current team, and it's just more exciting knowing the all of the guys that are here right now are more the ones that won't be traded are pretty much like you for the next 2-3 years part of the future wherever it may take them. So
And that's the big thing, like you said, like with the rentals and everything, and with the guys that we do have, it's like you said, we've got rid of almost everybody besides Robert. Robert's the only one left, and this year we had Vaughn, and he decides he's gonna go to Milwaukee and turn into fucking Hulk and just have himself a good old time. And good for him. He just needed to change the scenery. But yeah, I mean, again, like it's like the guys that they have are the guys that are going to be on the team, like Vargas and Colston and Chase and all these guys that we have that I just feel like what are we gonna do? Like the fact that I heard. Did you see that thing? I don't know if I sent it to you. Somebody was like, we should trade Edgar Caro now because we have so many catchers. It's like shut the fuck up, go away. Do we not? What, you don't like the way this man plays baseball and throws people out? He's the first catcher I've watched since AJ Perzinski that could throw a pitcher out and actually hit or a pitcher throw somebody out and freaking hit the baseball at the same time. And obviously it's going to come to him with the power and everything. But I mean, they go up there and they give at bats to know that they're not going to just swing at shit unless you're Luis Robert because he's still in that mindset. But I mean, even the walks too, where it's been like they seem to be out walking teams a lot this year. Where in the past, especially 5 years, the last two out of 3 years before this, I know that they were like 29 or 30 for walks in the MLB. So I mean, it's good to be able to see them get on base, get a guy over, get a guy in, and it just it's one of
I
those
think
things.
some of what I frustrates me is a lot of fans. I'm going along with the Caro thing. We probably overvalue what other teams see Edgar Caro as. I mean, realistically speaking.
Yeah. Oh,
So, I
for
mean,
sure.
to expect that you're going to fill another future hole like pretty much immediately by just trading Edgar Caro seems a bit unrealistic in my opinion. Um, and it's just it's like you can go down the list with okay, well, would you trade Davis Martin or Jonathan Cannon or Shane Smith? You could, but I honestly don't think there's going to be an offer on the table where Getz is just like, okay, I'm just going to pull the trigger on this. Based off of how they drafted too, I'm not sure how closely you followed the draft. They went pretty like prep heavy. So not a lot of college players.
See,
At this
yeah, I
point,
do
you're
watch
kind
it,
of
but I don't
you
know
would
who any of those guys were. So, like I know
well,
he's
I
at
mean,
who's
most of
at
them
the
are a lot of high
shortstop.
school players, so it'll
Gotcha.
be
Okay.
interesting to see. Like this offseason, you really don't have that many that are just going to jump to the major leagues next year. Pitching, you pretty much have covered, but if I question there has to be some spending, in my opinion, in the next upcoming offseason, especially if for some reason you offload Robert. I mean, your payroll is pretty much Benintendi and then guys who are either in arbitration or pre-arb. So, I mean, they're not making like crap tons of money here. So your payroll will be very slim. And I know people have kind of touched, we might have touched on it on the show. There's expected to be a lockout in 2027 when the contract's up. I would 100% guarantee the players union is looking at the White Sox, the Rockies, all these teams that are throwing very low payrolls out there and are going to sit there and use them as an example. So it would be in the Sox and Major League Baseball's best interest to, I mean, I'm not saying to jump to 200 million or anything crazy like that, but I mean, if this is your new core, you can't rebuild by simply having one core and cutting it off at that, adding like minimal pieces around them, and then that's just it. I mean, we just watched that happen. So, I mean, they drafted a lot of young talent this draft. They have a lot of younger talent that's in single A, broaching double A. Um, add some power bats, in my opinion.
I mean, like Justin likes to say, ball go far, team go far. And I mean, we've seen it for years with the White Sox. They've always had home run hitters. They've always had guys where, yes, they've had like their spurts where they have like the guys that can run and get on base and steal and then get them over, get them in and everything. But I mean, for a long time there, it was about hitting home runs, I mean, but I remember having AJ Perzinski, Paul Konerko, and Jim Thome back to back to back, and those are the three slowest MFers I think I've ever watched run the bases, other than freaking Paul Konerko his rookie year. And it's just like but they would go up there, they get a couple base hits, and one guy would hit a home run, and it's 3-0. And I mean that's the thing. I mean with the pitching that we have, and if we can continue to do, I think if we see it, we've seen it this year. The Sox score 5, 6, 7 runs, they're gonna win the game because the pitching gets comfortable, they feel confident, and they can just pitch and not have to worry about it. And I mean that if you want to just go out there and score as many runs as possible and win baseball games, I mean I don't even care. We don't need a closer then. We don't need none of that. We just need the guys to hit the ball, and that's kind of why it makes me mad they didn't draft the dude the Royals drafted, because the fact that he's come up and hit a couple home runs, this and that, it would just be so nice to have somebody like that in the lineup, especially the way again, nothing against Hagen Smith, but the way that they go about these pitching and drafting so many pitchers, they love themselves. They're lefty pitchers, and they're just like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I just that's my biggest thing. Where like you said, they need to go out and they need to get guys that can go out there and make like this team like. I hate using it, but the way the Cubs did it, where they went out and got the Lesters, the Lackeys, the freaking Jason Haywards at the time, Dexter Fowlers, Ben Zobrist, like they need to do that, then putting them with like the Rizzos and Bryants, where that's exactly what you need to do, and that's how you're going to win a championship. And you see the teams, unless you're the Yankees or Red Sox, that have all this money and all these guys, like that's how you win it, and that's how you get to where you're at. I mean, the freaking Red Sox, man, traded Devers, and they have somehow become back into the race. I didn't even realize they were on a 10+ game winning streak, and they were back into the division until they were talking about it on Tuesday with Rold. Roldis Chapman looked like he freaking aged -10 years. What the fuck happened to him? He
And
like fell off.
Giolito's been on a hot streak too. I think
I know.
he's
I
had
saw.
like at least 4 or 5 really good starts in a row.
Did you see the Cubs are interested in him and Moncada? Who would have thought? Oh my god, imagine if they go to the Cubs, I'd shit my pants. I'd
Well, I
literally.
think the Cubs were waiting for one of their prospects to kind of step up and like take over third, and it just has not happened.
No,
Um,
I mean when you got Pete Crow Armstrong and Kyle Tucker, you don't really need too much else.
well, and we're in the opposite. We're almost on the opposite side of the spectrum there, where you have the Cubs who really can't afford to run a guy out who's going to bat under 200 at third base while he figures out like his rookie struggles or whatever. Um, I'm all for bringing up as much of the youth that is deemed ready for major league at bats because see what we got here. You've already started the clock on all these players, so that's where I'm also set. For anyone who's saying that like Jerry's not going to spend any money, I'm not saying they're going to go crazy, but it makes zero sense to have started the clock on all of these rookies this year to go out and then again next year just be like we're going to dumpster dive or sign very minimal free agent contracts. Because then we'll be sitting here a year from now talking about the rental players that were flipping at the deadline again. I mean, at a certain point, you got to dig your heels in.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing too. Like I kind of have been giving, and I give a little bit of hope and gets with that, where it's like we saw with Kenny, where you just put band-aids on it, and you do this and that. But I feel like, and I'm hoping that Chris Getz will do that once they feel like they're ready to have that opportunity, and hopefully we might get ourselves a right fielder, and might and all of these things that I just, because the way these guys are playing, like Kyle Teal and Colston and Edgar, and like they're all, I feel like they're all developing in their own way so far in the majors. Where like even just watching Kyle run around the bases with it, like it was just like what I mean, like watching these guys have fun again and get excited, and it just that's what brings out the for me. I don't know, I just love watching guys like that play baseball because it means they care. And for how many years have we watched none of these guys care or walk up their strikeout, put their head down, and walk back to the dugout? And so
From
I,
the player's perspective, though, it is interesting because if you're a Kyle Teal or someone like that, obviously these guys are more ball players than the previous core or a lot of the previous core. Um, but I feel like that aspect needs to be weighed out as well. How long is Kyle Teal going to want to sit and be on the team if like let's just say they just say we're not going to spend any money until after the lockout in 2027 and you're just going to keep running out rookies and letting guys struggle. I mean, how many seasons can a rookie sit through preceding his rookie season before you're like, all right, what's the game plan here? Like as just a competitor, most of these guys at some point would like to win in their careers. So that's somewhat where I'm like, you're going to need to dig your heels in and start spending sooner rather than later. But we'll see how it goes, obviously.
I mean, I think, and again, I don't expect them to spend like millions and millions, but if they could bring in one or two guys next year that make this team feel a little bit more legitimate, I think it would be huge, especially to show the guys like, okay, we're gonna do this. And as you said, I mean, how long do these guys want to go? And obviously, like some guys are in the league forever, but even like in sports, like I just literally 2 minutes before we went live, Damian Lillard decided he was going to go back to the Trailblazers after he decided that he was going to go. And it's just like none of these guys are loyal now. None of these guys are this and that. Like even watching the All Star game, like I like the fact that Rodon and like Crochet and all of these guys are on different teams now. It's crazy to think like where they started or where they came from, or like Suarez on the Diamondbacks, and it's just like one of those things that it's or Schwarber. Like I keep for like the fact that Schwarber's been on 3 different teams. I always seem to forget because it's just like I don't know. So I just think that's the thing too, where it's just like these guys want to go, they want to win a championship, and that's why most of them go to the Dodgers, the Yankees, the teams like that are gonna win because that's what happens. Like Michael Kopech, he got himself a ring. He didn't have to do shit. I think he pitched in the playoffs or whatever,
Yeah,
or the
he
World Series,
pitched.
but you know, still, I mean, he went to the Dodgers, he got himself a World Series, and there you go, ta-da. And that's just going to be the thing to see, and hopefully that Chris Getson realizes that and knows that because, I mean, if these pitchers can continue to develop, I think we're okay. They just need to get some hitting because, as I said, they hit the ball, They're fine. But there's days where they just can't hit the ball, where we're losing the 1-0, the 2-3, the 2-1. That it's just outrageous that, we just need to get over that hump, is what it is. Because they show it. They show that they can sometimes. But the problem is it's just sometimes, and they didn't make it all the time. So, yeah. Do you think, and I think I asked you this last week, but do you think they could trade somebody like a Lenine Sosa?
If you get a good enough offer for Sosa, I could easily see them doing it. Depending on how they feel the 40 man is going to play out going into the off season. Because on top of that, Sosa has no more options to option him to AAA or anything, and he's playing good enough where if you were to just DFA him, I would think a team would pick him up on waivers. So,
Oh, easily. One guy I do not want to see on this team after August 1st is Josh Rojas. Get this MR off. Might send his ass back to Seattle. Because I'm over it with him. I've given up on this man.
he could be here for the long run. I think he's making like $4 million this year.
Oh, gotta love cheap money. But also during the 05
Well,
weekend,
no, that's not that cheap. I mean, Talkman's getting like under 2 million.
that's even worse.
Taylor, I think, is getting a couple million, but no, I think Rojas has one of the bigger contracts of the free agents that we did sign.
Taylor's just in it for the love of the game, man. For real. Michael A is trying to play on every single team, I swear. He's trying to become like Edwin Jackson. You remember when Edwin Jackson got traded to like 4 teams in one day? That was so bad. I remember that trade deadline, and they were like, they had a map of his head, and they were like, he went here. Gotta love it. Back to the before I forget, what'd you think about the swing off for the All-Star game? Did you think that was interesting? I saw somebody say they want to bring that into the regular season. Would that intrigue you to watch that at the end of a game, or would you rather it just be like extra innings and
For the All-Star game, I don't mind it. For regular season or like
playoffs?
playoff games, absolutely not. I
Somebody
mean,
said,
if
"What
you
if
want to
what if
go
the
watch
World
that type
Series
of
was?"
shit, like go to the Savannah Bananas game. I mean, it's cool for the All-Star game. You can have it for that. That's fine.
That was good. That was
Well,
good.
I mean, there's such a difference between the Savannah Bananas is like entertainment that's more like in your face entertainment. Baseball has been the same for a while. They've already fucked with the extra inning rule, which to me, it does shorten the games a little bit, but I'm not a huge fan of the guy starting at second base. It is what it is. Um, but no, they don't. I mean, because they said for the home run derby, they had to submit whoever the three batters were like the day before or something like that. What are you gonna every day on the lineup card? You have your like, this is my home like swing off people in case this happens. I mean, I'm just not a fan. It's more for show, which like I'm cool with at the All Star game, but I
Well,
mean, imagine if they're playing in like the ALDS like games what or ALCS game 7 and like that's how it fucking ends.
that's what somebody
Fuck
said. They're like,
off.
"What if Game 7 of the World Series is decided
Yeah,
by
I
a swing?"
mean,
Like, imagine, like, oh my god, like that would be crazy. So
look
yeah,
at
no,
the
I just
commissioner
wanted,
of baseball. If that's how he goes out, it's like fuck you, good riddance. I'm
yeah,
sorry. That would just be so stupid. He's already kind of dicked around with things. The one thing you want to accomplish something, get rid of blacking out games. Stop doing that
yeah.
shit.
Please, so I could watch the fucking White Sox in Wisconsin. Tired of watching Andrew Vaughn on the bro. I have to sit here and watch Andrew Vaughn on the Brewers fucking hit base hits. It
Yeah.
irritates me.
Or at
Thank
that point, I mean, that's where if they ended blackouts,
It'd be amazing.
I
Please.
guess the issue they'd run into is some of these. I mean,
I don't
like me,
understand
for
what they would do
example,
with
if
it.
they ended blackouts, I get my MLB TV subscription through with my tickets. So there would really be no purpose of me paying for CHSN if I could just watch the game through my MLB TV subscription. So
I
I
just
guess
don't
that's
think
where
that.
they need to figure it out. But
But like they
it's
just don't know
still
that.
like getting rid of blackouts or stuff like that. Manfred's messed around with the game enough. I don't like the extra inning rule that much. Some of the other stuff I don't mind to speed up the game, but that one will just if they went to the extreme of having a swing off to end a game, I mean that's just pathetic.
I mean, I heard somebody say it, and I was like, just imagine. But I mean, like that's the thing too. Like with the blackouts, like they would have I feel like they'd have so many more people be able to watch games, and the audience would be up, and they would have more ratings and everything. Because obviously, I'm sure the ratings for some of these baseball teams are not the greatest. I'm sure there's not many people like me that have an obsession to sit here and watch every White Sox game. And I'm sure not every person's watching the Rockies or this and that, or even the Orioles. Like I mean, it's the teams that are doing good, like the Tigers, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the blah blah, the Cubs. That's who's watching. I've seen so many Cubs fans come out of the woodwork in the past 6 months that I haven't seen since 2015. I want to ask them again. Who was the first baseman before we decided? Like, bro, people probably don't even know who Anthony Rizzo is anymore. Shit, I don't even know what team he's on anymore. But I mean, that's the thing. So the first half is over with. We still got a lot of baseball left. We got July, August, September, and then we'll be back for football. Deech, I know how excited you are for that. I'm not, because I love the warm weather. I hate fucking. That's the one thing I hate about football season is that cold, the Brit. I can't do it. So we start the second half, as you said earlier, with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I don't know why, but I feel like the last few years we played the Pirates. I know last year we got swept because I remember watching it in my living room and I was pissed off that we got swept by the Pirates. The year before, I think we won one game. So, hasn't been the best of luck versus the Pirates this year or the last few years, but obviously that changes.
Was last year the year where Sebi Savala broke, was it like O'Neal Cruz's leg? Or
Yeah.
like the collision
Yeah, that
between
was
the two?
yep,
That was
was that
last year?
yeah, yeah, because I was at home. I think that was the night game on Saturday or Friday. I don't know. I just remember that series very vividly because I had family over that weekend, and I just remember watching it and just being pissed off all weekend. So, yeah, no, because then who was the one? What was the team that Tim Anderson ran into the third baseman? Was that the Twins? You remember when he like ran into the third baseman, and he like twisted his ankle, and that like fucked up his whole season or whatever the hell.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think it was the Twins.
was it. I don't know. I always remember that because they blame the one dude that we picked up for like a week, and then they dropped him.
Hans or Alberto.
Oh my God, Hanser Alberto. Oh my God. Did you all speaking of the Pirates though? Did you see the fact that Paul Skeens literally has not had? He got more run support in the All Star game than he has in his last 7 starts for the Pirates. So we do have Jonathan Callan. Jonathan Callan. Jonathan, that's a new one. Jonathan Cannon taking on Bailey Falter tomorrow. We got Saturday. We don't know yet.
Hauser, right?
Probably Hauser and then maybe Burke on Sunday, I would assume. So I don't know if we're gonna see Paul
It's
Skeens.
Savali.
Savali.
Savali's on Sunday against, I think, Andrew Haney. I don't remember who the Pittsburgh starter is on
Wait,
Saturday, but I
Savali.
believe it's Hauser
Oh,
for the
Aaron
Sox.
Savali. Man, get that. I was hoping that guy would do something. He's just done absolutely nothing for us.
Who?
Aaron Savali. I was just hoping he was going to be
It's
at
been
least like a.
tolerable. He's not like the thing is, even if he gives up runs, at least he's like eating innings.
Yeah, that's true. And as we've talked about with these innings right now, that's what we need guys to do, especially for the second half. And it's like that's the thing. It's like like they're trying to build up these guys' arm strength. They're trying to do this and that. And I mean, like they were even talking about Grant Taylor being a possible starter and everything. But I mean, like I think what he's doing in the bullpen is perfectly fine, and I would just continue to do that. I mean, again, I'm not worried about the pitching. I just want to find these hitters that they can have and do good things with. So we do play the Pirates, and you said earlier, you said you think that they win 2 out of 3.
Yes, I'm gonna go with 2 out of 3.
So we'll see how that goes. They are in Pittsburgh because obviously last year they played in Chicago, so I don't really know exactly how. But the Pirates are 19 games under 500, as I said earlier. With Paul Skeens, they have not scored any run support, so we're gonna have to see how it happens. But again, anything can happen, and it is baseball, so. Yeah. After that, though, we play the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm so excited. First I hate the Rays, and first I hate Tropicana Field. Tropicana, whatever the hell you want.
They're not
Tropicana.
playing there though. They're at like a AAA stadium this
I
year.
know,
I'm pretty
I know.
sure.
Well, so that's what I was gonna get to. Is thankfully
Oh,
they're playing ahead of because I hate that stadium. They always play bad in Tropicana. So yeah, so they are playing at the AAA stadium. So maybe the White Sox will have better luck this year because I don't know, man. Some of those games at that field have given me some trauma, and I don't know the damn Rays. But how do you feel next week? Because they are on the road until do they come home next week or yeah next week against the Cubs, of course. Jesus Christ. We'll talk about that and get that series next week. I'm not excited, but Tampa Bay Rays. How do you feel, and what do you think that we could do against them? Obviously, depending,
is it a 3 or 4 game series against Tampa?
it's three, and then they have a travel day to go back to Chicago,
Okay.
so they'll be off next Thursday.
Um, I will say they'll win 2 out of 3 in Tampa as well, or wherever they're playing. Against Tampa.
I forget what the name of the stadium is or whatever, but yeah, I mean that's the thing. Tampa Bay always gives me anxiety, so I'll just say 1 out of 3 with them, and I'll say 2 out of 3 against the Pirates because I don't know, and it's been that's been the one thing too this year is like we saw a lot of sweeps last year, and obviously they're not going to be able to keep up with the Dodgers or and they actually did keep up with the Dodgers, but we should have won one game against the Dodgers, but I mean like that's the thing too is like watching them go up against these teams, like they're getting there to be able to compete with them to where like I said they get over that hump we could start winning a few more games. And like that's the thing too. It's like the fact that we're at 32 wins, we literally need 10 more wins to finish off of what we had last year. And I know that's not saying a lot, but I mean, we could have 42 wins by mid-August and still have a month and a half left of the season. Let's hope it don't take that long, but let's so right we're almost in August, bro. I can't even remember anymore that I feel like we went from July 4th to like the end of July, like in like a snap of the finger. It's crazy. So shall be interesting to see what they do against the Rays. But when they do come home, they play the Cubs and the Phillies, and I don't know. I'm going to the Phillies game. I don't know about you. You let me know. Do you ever figure that out if you were able to get off work for that?
I still have to figure that out.
Gotcha.
My manager has been in and out of the office, so but
Busy, but yeah. So,
I I am going to one of the Cubs games, I know.
oh, you're going to a Cubs Sox game? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Do you like? You said you don't like going to those, right?
Generally, no. I mean, the ones at Sox Park, it's just like super crowded. I mean, if they're gonna get shellacked, that's not overly fun to
No, listen to
be
all
in
those.
an environment where you just have a bunch of Cubs fans shit talking you. But
They act like that they're gonna be able to win the World Series though. Like I feel like the Cubs are gonna be a team that are gonna like they've been playing very good. They're a very good team. They have a lot of great players and everything, but I still don't think them being able to beat the Dodgers or teams like that is gonna be able to happen. That hoping they get eliminated in the first round because I do not need to deal with another playoff season with the Cubs. Because last time that happened, I almost ripped my hair out, dead ass. But I remember being at Dave and Buster's when they won the World Series, and literally Cubs fans just surrounding me. I felt like I was like at the bar, like that meme where they show Homer at a bar and then they have like all the people. That's how I felt, and I'm sitting there with my White Sox hat on. Well, go Guardians! Yay! Can't even believe I said that. Man, if Rajay Davis just could have just done that, and then they didn't have a rain delay, or no, the rain delay was after. I don't know. Anyway, fuck the Cubs. Is there anything else you want to talk about though before we go here today?
no, I did see in the chat
Oh, we did. Oh, we got
the Carlson pick. I don't know as much about it as probably other people on White Sox Twitter. It
This is where we
seems
need
like a
Elijah.
decent pick.
Gotta make a phone call. Elijah, where you at?
Yeah. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, they kind of went very heavy on the prep side, so I have no issue with the pick, but I also don't want to sit there and be waiting for him and Braden Montgomery and all them to come up before you're going to commit to spending any sort of money. Because we'll be sitting in 2028 and be in our start of our contention window at that point.
Well, yeah, and we haven't even talked about Braden Montgomery and everything else like that, and he's been raking in single A, double A. I think he's in double A now, right? Yeah, right? Or is he in high
No,
single A?
he's in high A.
Is it high A? So I mean, that's the thing too. It's like he's a couple more years away, and it's like that's great. Like whatever, but like Braden could be a great he could be a great person if I just can't say the words. It'd be a great person to have come up when we have a couple guys that like are stars and this and that to add to what we already have. And that's the thing. It's like if you want like you just want to keep waiting. It's just like like as much as I would not like to see it, but they need somebody like a Josh Naylor that's just going to come here and hit home runs and have a great day and feel and like I said, because that's the thing that they need to be able to I feel like get ahead. Like I said, they could just continue to score more runs. We've seen it like this year a million times. They just can't score the runs when they do. So, I just think that's the thing, and it's just hopefully they don't wait too long because we don't need to go through this again. And I don't know if I can go through this again because my head hurts. And after watching that 2005 stuff last week, it made me sad. I think I cried. I think I had too many emotions last week. I can't do that again. Well, I can, but like you know what I mean. Anyway, so yeah, I don't really know. Like I said, to be honest, I don't really keep up on the MLB prospects and everything else like that. So I really cannot help you on that one. I just more or less try to wait and see what happens. But that is more or less like Justin has talked about too. Like I just don't want to get too excited about these prospects until we actually see them come up and do stuff because I got too invested in the Moncadas and the Giolitos and looking at the pipeline and the top 100 and this and that I just can't do that again. It's not worth it. Or even them like trying to have that trade for the Cubs because the Cubs are interested in one of the White Sox players. Also, Corey Lee could be possibly being traded too. That is somebody else that has been mentioned in trade talks. Yes, that was definitely a crying one. Deech, did you watch that? The final episode of the
I
05
did not
Florida?
get to watch it yet, so
Yeah, I kind of cried.
don't spoil it for me.
It's crazy. Like I know we've talked about a lot of 2005, and I just hope one year we cannot, and we can say we are two-time World Series champs and everything. But man, that team was just so good from top to bottom, defense to pitching to fielding. And I did not know Juan Uribe got all three outs in the ninth inning. I remember that second play, obviously, but I did not realize that he got that first out and everything else like that. And the
You
fact
were
that
what, 9 years old? You said.
yeah, thanks, Deech. Yeah, thanks. You were like 11, weren't you? How old were you?
I was in fifth grade. I don't
Oh,
even
okay.
know.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're a little
Fifth
bit older.
or yeah, fifth or sixth grade at that point.
Oh, okay.
But
I mean, still, so it's just one of those things that I just, yeah. So, still remember, always remember, like I said, that Brian Anderson, that Jeff Blum home run will always be just something that, like I said, I still remember, and those are moments that I'll never forget. But I want to have that feeling again. So it was great to reminisce in 2005. But let's hope when we're celebrating the 30-year reunion, let's hope we have another World Series ring because hope even Canerico said it last week. He goes 10 years wasn't so bad. There was a couple players still playing. I just got done. He goes 20 years. Everybody's done. Everybody's old. I was just like I'm done. I can't. I just man JD though, if you can see, he's like creeping on us. He looked like he could go out there and play the field last weekend. I think that'd be great. Put him in right field. I don't know. So I think that's all I got here for you though today. So appreciate you guys as always. Thank you to everybody that was here in the chat. You guys are all the best. Remember to go follow all the social medias on X, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. Make sure you go follow the OTM guys, the Main Event Network crew, if you are a wrestling fan. Obviously, your boy Tino. We are 34 away to 3,100 subscribers, and we are 39 away to 100 here. Again, that's the thing, too. If the White Sox could win some games, if they go on like a 10-game winning streak, maybe we get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. See what happens. So, guys, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I'll be back on Tino's Time tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown. The White Sox head to Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. And we'll be back here at 5 o'clock next week, hopefully with all three of us to talk about more White Sox baseball. Guys, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.